What's up? So today I think I'm going to try and rebuild the turbo. Hopefully get it done within a couple hours, I hope. So when the car heats up, everything runs perfectly. You can kind of smell the oil. You can't visually see the oil when it's warmed up until you shut the car off. Let it sit for about 1 to 2 minutes and then turn it back on. And all the oil that either leaked into the exhaust housing or something, it all starts burning out, and then it goes back to not smoking. But for that quick little startup, it's like puffing out a lot of smoke. So I got a rebuild kit. Excuse my Monopoly game for Albertsons, but I have the T3 T4 rebuild kit with the 360 bearing, because supposedly that's an upgrade. I don't know. New bearings, all the seals, and new gaskets and stuff. So I think I'm going to try and pull the turbo off, rebuild it today. If I can't get it done, I'll just transfer my battery over to the Jeep again, and I'll drive that as the daily while I'm rebuilding the turbo, or if that doesn't work, getting a new turbo. So that is what's happening. I'm currently on my way to work, so I'll see you guys after that, and then we'll get this process started. Sweet, so I'm finally off work. Got the car here. I've got to jack it up. I don't think I'm going to film too much of removing the turbo or installing it if I get to that point today. I just hope everything's cool enough to pull. Probably not, actually. I'm going to let it sit a little bit longer, and then I'll start getting to it. Start pulling some of these pipes out of the way. So I got most of this stuff out. Both intake pipes. I took the wastegate off. Oil line is off. We're draining what is in the pan. Kind of waiting for this to get drained enough so I don't get it all over my arm and stuff. So that is where I'm at right now. I don't think I'll finish this before tonight, so it looks like I'm going to be driving the Jeep tomorrow for work. But it is Friday, so I'll have the whole weekend to finish this project and see if I can get stuff rolling. Alright, so got it out. Sun's going down. Let's start taking it apart inside. Alright guys, so here's the turbo. It took about an hour to get to, or to get off. I don't know how I got it on there in the first place. If you can see in here, it spins super free. Honestly does not feel that bad in there. Yeah, see there's a little bit of in and out, but like that's me forced. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you gotta force it, but I'm gonna start taking it apart and start rebuilding it. Got the housing off. Has some kind of coating, so I don't know what that is. It's light oil, I guess. Feels good, looks good. Only thing is this rubber gasket here looks like it got smashed. I've been at it for about half hour, a little over half hour. So getting these bolts out of the exhaust side wasn't too hard, except for there's this one right here. So I was watching a video yesterday on how to get it out, and I had to grind down a box end 13 just so it would fit in there because this is starting to bend on the open end. Same with this side. This one was pretty easy to break loose. I actually got it with the open end, but it's just easier if you have the box end wrench, so I recommend that if you're going to take apart a turbo. And then another thing, they will not come all the way out, so when you have it this loose, if I can get it now, which I can't get it, but this whole housing will rotate if it's not clamped down with these pieces, so you can rotate it and then pull these bolts out without having to fight with it like I've been fighting with it. Alright guys, so I got that piece off. So there's the oil drain here, and then on the bottom side here there is oil. So it has been, every time it sits it leaks oil out. Try not to bend these fins. But every time it sits the oil will just puddle up down here. So I got the compressor wheel off. You guys have to remember, make sure it's balanced separately, which it looks like these are. These have all the grooves and notches in it, like it was balanced separately. And it also had a line on the compressor wheel as well as the nut, so where the nut is in relation to the compressor wheel, so make sure you mark that. If you don't, send it to get balanced, just so you're not screwing yourself up. And it is righty loosey, lefty tighty, so to loosen it you're going to turn it like you're tightening a normal nut, and then to tighten it you'll be twisting it backwards like you're loosening a nut. Got this housing plate off. Looking inside the oil drain hole, there are, here, let's see if I can pick some up. There are solid pieces of metal, and you can see that one flickering on my finger right there. So if you can see those are solid pieces. Some of it's metal shavings and some of it just looks like carbon buildup or something. But that's not good to be having floating around in the turbo, so we'll see how good the bearings look and how good the shaft actually is. So I got everything off. Here's the center section. I still just got to pull out the snap ring and get the bearings out of each side. Here is the turbine wheel, and there is a lot of carbon buildup, solid carbon chunks. That's part of what's floating around in the return line. As you guys can see, that rough, I mean, that's a big one, but yeah, there's a lot of that floating around, and it's all in these grooves, so I'm sure that's probably why it's not sealing properly. So I'm gonna soak all of this stuff overnight in some acetone and degreaser, and then see if I can work it clean. So I got the bearings out, and they look pretty fine, just used. So this was the one on the exhaust side, just dark, and then the other one, there's no scoring in them or the shaft. I think that's where I'm going to call it tonight. Start putting stuff to clean, and then I'll be assembling it tomorrow. So